Hello and welcome to Manic Fishing, and this is another Manic Monday. As you know, the weather has been pretty dreadful lately. In the last two videos I've done them on my bait preparation. Hopefully I should be able to get out on Saturday, but I'm going to do this and I'm just getting myself set. As I say, I may be able to get out in the next few days, so I'm just getting all my lures prepared. As you can see, a lot of them are quite rusty, and you don't want to be throwing these away. They're quite expensive. So what I've got is I've got a file here, a hook sharpener, and I'm going to show you how I prepare my lures and maintain them, putting them in my boxes all ready for when I go out on my fishing trip. There's a varied amount of lures here, some ranging from 100 grams, some I got bought tails, others are made up, and I'll show you the difference with Savage Gear proper heads that you buy, which are like 12 quid for two, and then these are from my local tackle shop, and these are £3.50 for two. And to be honest with you, there's not a lot of difference with them. At the end of the day, really, it's only to get that lure down. It's how you work that lure when it's down on the reef or on the wreck that matters. Okay, so I'll show you now how I use this hook sharpener. So there's just really on these lures where they're just left in the box, I normally put all my lures that I'm going to use for the next few trips. I'll put various lures in different sizes for different occasions, or different or for different circumstances with the tide or whatever, or depending on if I'm fishing a reef or if I'm fishing a wreck, then I need to up or down my size of lure. So what I'll do is I'll show you. This is just a hook sharpener, and it's just surface rust. So I'm just going to really just go over these just to get this surface rust off. And then it's got like a groove in the top there, which I'll just sharpen these hooks up. So I don't know if you can see that. So it's just really where they have been sitting in the box. What I've got is I've got these boxes, which are, I think these are a Snowbie, but the boxes are falling apart, I must admit now. And what I do is I mark on these boxes 100. So these are like my 100 gram lures, and I have 65 to 100, which is mostly what I use. And then I've got these ones here, which are 42 grams, and then on the other side 30 grams. These are mostly for my reef fishing, but these are pretty new. These are these drift shads, which are brilliant. And so these have been kept in here quite nice, but I may have, yeah, I've got one here, which is a sidewinder rattleback. I don't know if you can hear that. So that's just got some surface rust on it, so I'll just clean that up a little bit just to take that off, and then they're good as new. But you do want these sharp. It's just really just to clean it up. You could quite easily do this just with a normal bit of sandpaper, you know, DIY stuff. So that's there. And then when they're laid in this box, you sort of lay them down and they stand up, so then they're not, hopefully not going to get in the wet. Okay. Right, now what I'll do is I'll show you. These are some Savage Gear ones that I've bought. These are these V2 sand eels. These are quite nice actually, but they're 10 quid. But it's quite strange, when you buy these, you buy one head and one body. So if you lose one, then you've just got a tail. So then you've got to buy another head. And as I said, these heads here, this is 97 grams. So that's, well, about the same as that one there, and they're 12 quid for two, so there's 6 quid each. So you work that out, that's, you've got to buy two heads it's just odd, you know. So what I do is at my local tackle shop, the Hastings Angling Centre, Martin makes these up and he puts like a little eye on there, and these cost £3.50 for two, so you don't mind as such losing these ones in the wreck. It costs minimal. So these are them ones. These are quite nice. But what I do with all of my lures, I'll show you on here. So on these lures, what they do is they've got on the back here, they've got like an option where you can push your hook through. But what I do is I actually put the lure to the lead head and I can see where that's coming out. So I know that's coming out there. So what I do is I just thread that through. I'll be honest, I've done loads of these, so I do sort of know where it needs to come out. And then that pushes on, and well, that was a good guess, but there you go. So that's like that. But the trouble, what you'll find is when you're fishing on reefs and even wrecks or wherever, you'll get the tail biters, normally wrasse, and they'll pull that and that will actually come off. So what I do is with all of my lures, I just get some cheap super glue and I just daub a little bit of glue on this lead head here, just like that round. And then I just pull that to it and stick it, and that will hold that, and that just stops any of that tail biting. Just give that a few seconds, and there you go. And that, really and truthfully, even though that's got nice pretty painting and whatever else, but you know, are the fish going to see any different in that? It's both the same action. But that head there is £6-7, and that there is £3. So you're getting two of these homemade heads for the price of one. So let me do, and what I normally do is I just normally hook these over here just until they dry, and it takes a few seconds. These are a good one. These are a crazy eel, and these cost me, I don't know if you can see that. These are brilliant, these are killer, and this is a really good colour for pollock and cod. They seem to love this sort of rhubarby custard colour. And so, I mean, I don't buy the heads. I mean, the heads are phenomenal money. There's one I made up there, that's just a smaller one. And yet again, these are, where is it? These are Martin's heads. And I'll do the same again here. So, you fish these with the tail down, so you can see where this this comes out here. So what I do is I'll put so that is actually where that guide is there. So what I'll do is I'll put that through, but you always put the lead head along the body of the lure so you can see where it's coming out, so that you're not going to sort of guess. So I know that that's going to come out there. So yet again, I just go through the middle of it there and then come out this hole. And hopefully, yeah, I didn't get that one quite right, but you can just push it back in again and just go down a little bit further and then up. So that's sitting about right. Can you see that? And look at that action. That's no different. It's no different to anything. The head's slightly bigger than the body, but I don't suppose the fish are going to mind that. And then what I do is I'll just put a little bit of super glue around this lead head just to hold it. And this is like from the pound shop, you know, 5 tubes of it, because it doesn't it goes off quite quick. And just make sure you don't super glue your fingers. So just hold that for a few seconds, and then you're good to go. And that, I think these heads are 85 grams, so with the weight of that, that's about 100 gram lure, which is perfect for working my lure rod. The one I really use the most is my Tenru Bulldog Puppy, which is designed to work 100 gram lure. That's 65 grams, that's perfectly fine. I do like to, if I can get away with a 65, then I use it. So let's just hook that over there for now. And these are all my Savage Gear ones, but I've actually super glued all of these. But when you get these lures, they don't actually come super glued down. This Savage Gear now, they have got these sticks, and I'm not sort of sold on them, I must admit. So there's like a cocktail stick that goes through that, so I'm not quite sure how that head works, but that's pretty solid. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So let me show you. These are some Sidewinder, just my reef ones, but they're quite rusty at the back, but it's only surface rust, so I'll just clean that up. You know, I've had some of these lures, I've had them a couple of years or whatever, but they do just get a bit corroded in the box. As long as the barb's on there, it doesn't really matter too much, as long as it's, you know, I just always sharpen them up. And these are weedless ones. They're a little bit dirty, but they'll soon clean. So that's nice and sharp, and that's good to go, you know. Also, what I like to do is fish a slow jig. So I've got some of these in here. I've had these ones in here quite a while. Most of these are H2O, which are brilliant. I've just got these new ones that I'm going to do a video on in the next few weeks. And these new ones, these are Tumble H2O, and these are literally deadly. These are brand new, so I've just left these in the bag. When I take them out and use them, then I will put them into another box similar to this. But really and truthfully, you can just get Tupperware boxes, and just make sure after you've done your fishing, it's best just to rinse them off with cold water. In the marina, we've got taps everywhere. When I wash my boat down, I just normally just hose over my lures, and it just keeps the salt off of them. And then make sure you dry them. Most of these are sort of like a stainless hook or whatever, so they don't rust that easily. Right, let me show you how I do these Savage Gear ones. These are slightly different. These are obviously ones that I've bought from the shop, but these are £12 for two. And the only difference really is they've got this barb here which stops it pulling back over, and then it's got like an insert where this lure will go. So this is, well, you can see it's slightly different to this head. You can never buy the heads that are already painted or whatever, but like I say, I don't suppose the fish really care. So look, you can see that's the tails down. So yet again, I'll look at that and I can see that that's going to come out in this hole here. So let's see if I can do this. So let's go in here, try and keep it as straight as you can, and come out this hole here. So I'll go over that barb and then push that, so I can see that's going to go in there fine. The lure is slightly smaller than the head, but it doesn't really matter. So I'll just pull that back, and then I'll just give it a bit of glue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on this head here, like this. Okay, and then just push this down. Then try and keep it straight. And that'll just push into that head. Okay, just give it a few seconds. But this is one on a Savage Gear head, and this is one on a made up, and there's no difference. If anything, I think the head fits better on this one than it does on this one. So that's £3.50 for two, so that's £1.75 for that head, and that's £6 for that one. So what's the difference? Both exactly the same hook size. Right, so in this box here that I got made up, these are my big ones. So I've actually written on this box big, and these are intended for my bigger rod. My Bulldog Puppy only really works 100-gram lure. You can get away with a bit more, but I've actually got a rod that's designed to work up to 120 90 grams. So these I think are 180. And look at the action there. This is a puffin, this one. This is 140 grams. And this got that stick through that. That's quite a nice one for the pollock. And this is one, you can see this is, I think this is even heavier. I think it's about 200 grams. But that hook again there is slightly rusty. So I'll just give that a clean up while I'm here. Just give that. The trouble is when I leave all my lures on the boat, and obviously salt air gets around, and you know, things do, I don't bring my lures home, otherwise I've got to keep dragging them about all the time. So then I just literally lay them in that box like that. So the hook goes down. And here are some of my, these are quite new actually, these don't need replacing. These are a sidewinder one. They're quite nice, but as I say, I think the H2Os are the killers. These are all H2Os, these are quite old. And these hooks, I don't know if you can see that, they're quite rusty, so I'll give them a little go over. So I'm hoping to get out. I'm going to try and get out in the next few days. It's looking like Saturday may be a go. I haven't fished for 3 weeks now, so it's I'm getting a bit of shore fever. So I'm going to try, but I don't think where I'd like to go, which is about 30 odd mile away from the marina, I don't think the seas are going to be kind to me. I think there's going to be some big swells out there, so I'll probably just go hit a few wrecks. And what I want to do is I desperately want to try and see if the tope are still around. I'm going to try and hit them and have one last chance of them. I've got a load of mackerel made up, and there may be some spur dogs. That's what I'm hoping for. On the last video I did on my bait preparation, I made some baits up for rays and spur dogs and cod, so I'm hoping to get some nice baits down there. As I say, last year I tried 5 times to get these spur dogs and they never turned up. They were there December the 4th, I believe, 2 years ago, and I tried 5 times to try and get these spur dogs and they just didn't seem to turn up. This time I fished exactly the same ground, but I shall try for tope, and that's exactly what I did a couple of years ago. I was tope fishing, and then I started hitting the spur dogs, and that's how I knew that they were on that ground. So I'll probably try there again, maybe on Saturday in a couple of days time, and see if I can hook into a few. So right, this box here is pretty good to go. These are falling apart a bit, these boxes, I must admit, but yeah, the make of these is Snowbee. Right, these are dried now. So these are mostly 65 gram, 80 to 100. So what I do is I can fish all of these. So I've got on here 65 to 100. So as I said, these are falling apart a bit, these lure boxes. So let's put this one back together. Okay, so let's put that down there with the big, and let's go through these reef ones. So as I say, these are all the drift ones, so I can put all of these. This new rod that I bought off of Mr. Fish, Mick Ward in Jersey, is designed to work all of these nice little, these are all drift, they're absolutely fantastic. These little lures, only 30 grams, but these are designed to work all of these. This is another one. This isn't a weedless, this is a 50 gram, but that will still work that perfectly fine. That's a slightly smaller rod. And what I normally do is I'll have these out, and then when I start fishing, I'll have a selection. And what I normally do is I just chuck them all in here, in a bucket ready for fishing. And then I'll have in there, I have these little pots. I think these are probably more designed for the carp fishermen. And I just, in this box here, I don't know if you can see, I have my lure clips in here, which are just small, and then I'll have fluorocarbon in there, pair of braid scissors, my hook sharpener, and so I'm already geared up. I've got a selection of the lures out. I have some idea of what I'm going to do on that day, so I'll make a plan in my head, and I'll go out. I'll try and stick to that plan, but the weather determines everything. If the tide is ripping or whatever, then I'll obviously change my game. And I've got every scenario here, so if I need to go heavier, I've got my real heavy lures or whatever. So when I go out pollock fishing in the next few weeks, I'll be fishing 200-foot deep wrecks, and the tide will be moving quite fast, so I'll need these to get down to the bottom, and the pollock will munch these. There'll be some really big pollock. Well, normally you'll get the big ones sort of end of December right up to February. You know, you've got a couple of months of some real big ones. I mean, my biggest pollock up to now is 18 pound 11, and that was an absolute stonker. Huge pollock, and I caught it on one of them small lure rods, and it just bent it in two. Fantastic fun. And I will be going out, as I said, I've got these from H2O, and I shall be going out testing these. These are 80 grams, these are 130, so these will all work on my bulldog puppy, and these are literally will nail it. Some lovely colours there, pinks and whatever, but I'll do a separate video on these. Also, I'm going to do, my boat comes out on the 17th to the 21st of November, and I shall do another video on boat maintenance. So basically it's anti-fouling, rubbing down, anti-fouling. I'm going to have a vinyl wrap put on, because every time my friend polishes my boat up for me, the blue strip that goes round the side, it comes up like glass, and then after 3 days it just goes back to a milky colour. So we're going to try and put a wrap on there, so I'm going to do a video of it. My friend's never done a vinyl wrap on a boat before, but it's only a small area, so he feels pretty confident, and I've got confidence in him. Good luck, Gaz. Yeah, I'll do a little video on that. And as I say, I'm no anti-foul expert, but I've done it for the last 2 years and it's come out okay. You're only literally painting a small area, but it'd be interesting to see how the transducer's held up. I put some anti-foul transducer anti-fouling on it, so it'd be interesting to see what that looks like when it's out of the water. I hope you're enjoying Manic Mondays. I am trying to get a video out every Monday. It is hard. I've struggled I haven't been fishing for 3 weeks, so I have struggled to get content, but I quite like doing these videos. I hope you enjoy them too. I'm going to try and do a few, but I hope you're enjoying Manic Mondays. As I said, please subscribe if you haven't done already. At the end of the video, you'll see a prompt for another video, and you'll see the Manic Fishing logo. Hit that logo, please, and that's a subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching. See you next Monday.